Jai Shri Ram friends. Today we are going to review the movie Kalki. Go to the video description, you will find an index. You will find that I have started this video with ratings, critical acclaim, then my analysis, and towards the end of it, I'll also explain it to you that there are three revelations that I feel you might not be aware of. So, secrets hidden in this movie are discussed at the end. So if you are only interested in those secrets, then just go to the video description. In the index, you just find the lowermost section. Click the timestamp ahead of it, and the video will jump to that part when I have actually discussed those revelations. So let's get started with the records that this movie has broken in 6 days. It is already the highest weekend collection Indian film. A worldwide collection was 555 crores. North America collection is 11 million US dollars. So till now, out of all the Indian films, weekend collection of this movie is the highest. Similarly, out of all the Indian films, first day collection is third highest, and in 2024 the first day collection is the highest. It is already the biggest opener in Deepika and Amitabh's career. Now, ratings, it has received very good ratings. IMDb rating 8.1, Rotten Tomato 80%, that is again 8 out of 10. And my Book My Show has even given it a rating of 9 out of 10. These many votes were casted, as you can see, so many votes were casted, and still it is 9 out of 10. Critical acclaim, it has received a lot of praise from Atlee, S.S. Rajamouli, Rajnikant, Allu Arjun, Varun Dhawan, Arjun Kapoor, and countless others. Many people are saying that Amitabh Bachchan has done the best role of his entire career in this particular movie, and it is very, very soulful. He has nailed it. Now, what are my ratings and analysis? I have also given it the similar rating as IMDb has given. It is 8 out of 10. A few things that are really standing out are the research and correctness. The director and writer, Nag Ashwin, has done a splendid job. Action is good. Casting and acting, well, here casting of two people is wrong. I'll come to it in the next slide. Story writing is very good. Dialogue writing is also good. Screenplay is okay. Screenplay is a little choppy at places, like the comedy and the romance section put in the beginning are like 15 minutes slots. I think the comedy should have been a little subtle. It should be situational comedy in such movies, and action should also be romance should also be situational romance, like the romance that you saw in the Speed movie starred by Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. That kind of a romance we wanted. A separate patch just for romance, having one song also, it was a little unnecessary. It seems to be forcefully fitted in the movie. So that's why I've said that screenplay is a little weak. I have given a 7 out of 10 there. But sets, production value, CGI, it is amazing. A few places in CGI you can nitpick, like when the prisoners were being carried to Kashi, you see that there is blurring of the edges of those that vehicle. So blurring is done everywhere. Actually, blurring should happen wherever there is intense light. That means wherever there is sun. So top edges you could have blurred, but the bottom edges should not have been blurred. So that is one thing. Another thing, the weapons, especially the laser guns. Laser guns, they should have worked a little harder on that. They look like thermocol guns painted in white. So that is why I have deducted to 1 mark. But otherwise, CGI is amazing. You can see the production value. You can see that it is a 600 crore budget movie. It is very well visible on the screen. Background music is amazing. Direction is amazing, as I said, but I have deducted 2 marks because comedy and action were put at separate patches in the beginning. So it should have been situational comedy, situational romance. Is it a world-class cinema? Of course, it is a world-class cinema. You should be watching it. Now, what are the strengths? First of all, from a massy perspective, if you see, all these 4 stars are going to pull the crowd. Prabhas and Kamal Hassan from the south, and Amitabh and Deepika from the north. All these are massy stars. They can pull crowd towards themselves. Cinephile wise, I would see that the choreography is amazing. Core of the film is story, and it is not action, which is great. Many movies, they revolve so much around the action that the story is lost somewhere. This is not that kind of a movie. Strong indigenous ideas were used, and no copy paste is done. You take the example of Flying Jet. In that, a foreign idea of Superman was forcefully fitted in Indian context, and that is why that movie did not run well. But here, all the ideas were indigenous. They came from Mahabharat and Kalki Puran, Indian scriptures. And the actors were also Indian, the context was also Indian. The only thing is, 2898 AD is like a foreign, maybe future time. The time is different, but it is still India. And very much you see the chap of Indian culture. You see Hinduism, you see Buddhism, especially Tibetan Buddhism. You see all these things in this movie. So everything is indigenous. Even the music is indigenous. No copy paste from anywhere. From a nationalist perspective, I found it engaging that north and south came together for probably the first time to show the story of Bharat. You are showing the story of India. North and south both are coming together for that. There is no woke agenda. Unnecessary things are not there, like LGBTQ rights. I don't think that it is unnecessary, but still, every movie should not become about that, or every movie should not be a sermon about how to treat ladies well. See, it can be a factor in your debate, but every movie should not be focused on that. So unnecessary woke agendas were not put in. Then unnecessary glorification of colonizers was not done. Like, okay, the British were so much better. Had British not come here, then India would be like, we would be savages, we were slitting each other's throat. That agenda was not shown. Another thing is unnecessarily putting a Muslim character in the story somewhere, and he's shown to be, she is shown to be the best character in the movie. So nice, so humble, so good. That is forcible insertion of Muslim characters into Indian text. That is not required, and this movie avoids it entirely. You don't see a single character who is Muslim. Then unnecessarily sometimes Ajan is shown just to show how secular we are secular filmmakers. That is also that temptation is avoided. So very good, you are talking on a topic, just stick to that topic. There's no need of virtue signaling, either woke agendas or virtue signaling that we are so secular. That kind of virtue signaling is avoided. Thank you, thanks a lot, we appreciate it. This is the kind of way in which movies should be made in India. Now the weaknesses. Few casts are really bad. Like for example, Shashwat Chatterjee is playing the villain in this movie, and you can see, he is not at all a good villain. He is basically a comedian. How can you cast a comedian in the place of a villain? So when you make a villain weak, then the movie takes a toll. You take the example of Jawan. In Jawan, the villain was a little stronger as compared to the hero, and that's why Jawan was such an engaging story. Here, this villain, I actually wanted to laugh at him. He was not furious at all. So Shashwat Chatterjee was a miscast. I'm not saying Shashwat is not a good actor. He's a good actor, but at a different place. You are using a comedian in the place of a villain. That is a casting problem. I'm not saying this is Shashwat Chatterjee's problem, it is casting problem. Another casting problem that you had is Brahmanandam. See, I understand that almost every other South Indian movie has Brahmanandam in them. He is their favorite comedian, you can say. But there is a time and place. You did not require Brahmanandan's character entirely. So you could have gone away, you could have done away with that character. That character could have been reduced from the film. Then also that film would be great. In fact, when you try to bat, and if you are not able to deliver a score, then it is looked at as a failed attempt, right? So if you try to do a comedy and it is not comic enough, then it becomes your failure. Why do you want to make failure? See, second half of this movie was amazing, very engaging, very fast. Even if you would have delivered only those 1.5 hours movie, then also people would have liked it. But then you gave first 45 minutes to comedy and romance. Separate patches. First for comedy, second for romance. Those 45 minutes should have been saved. Your movie is of 3 hours, so reduce it a bit. Maybe it could be only of 2 hours 15 minutes. Then also that story is sufficient, that movie is sufficient, world building could have been great. You did not require that comedy patch in the beginning and that romance patch in the beginning. Of course the movie wouldn't have any song had you removed that romance patch. It's okay, no problem at all. There are so many Hollywood movies anyways never have songs, and they still run well. Comedy, do you think there are action movies that don't have comedy? Of course there are, like Speed movie. Take the example of Speed movie, Hollywood movie, where Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock are there. There is subtle comedy in this movie. There is subtle romance in this movie. Romance builds up in such a tense environment, but they did not give a 15 minutes patch just for romance. It doesn't look very organic. The world is falling apart, and what are you doing? What are you showing in the beginning? The first 45 minutes are absolute disaster. You should have just cut that part and kept the rest of the movie. The rest of your movie is great. Okay, so this is about the two miscasts. Then weak screenplay. I told you already that Disha Patni, she comes in the story out of nowhere, and she goes out of the picture from out of nowhere into the nowhere. So it is difficult. This looks very patchy. The comedy, oh, just one patch comedy, one patch romance. This is not a good screenplay. You should have just taken these two parts out. Jokes in the beginning appear to be forced. I told you already. Songs and romance are missing. See, when I say Disha Patni's role was not required, okay, but Disha Patni was required. She is a great actor, and her role was great. And actually, I think she did a better job than Deepika, to be honest. But she was given a very little screen time. She comes out of nowhere, she goes into nowhere. That is not right. The romance should have built gradually. The kind of romance that you show between Prabhas and his machine, that is Bhujji, instead of that, Roxy could have been the handler of that machine. She could be the engineer on the machine, and some story could have developed of romance between them. She could have sacrificed her units to make Bhujji, to prepare Bhujji for a fight for Prabhas. That is the kind of story you should have come up with. Just having this kind of, okay, what is the relation between Prabhas and Roxy? Oh, Roxy has lended some money to Prabhas, and Prabhas owes her that money. This is the relation you want to show, and this, how can romance develop in this kind of a relationship? Use common sense. I think both those patches were unnecessary. But Disha Padni should have been there, but you should have tweaked the story accordingly. She should be the part of the story, and she should come and go throughout the movie. It should not be patchy, not just for 15-20 minutes in the beginning she is shown, and after that, where has she gone? No one knows. That should not happen. Now, dialogues are an ace for this movie. Few notable dialogues I'll tell you, and after hearing these dialogues, you'll definitely go and see that movie. Deepika says to Amitabh that "आप मुझे माँ क्यों बुलाते हो?" Amitabh returns and says that कहते हैं कि भगवान के अंदर पूरी सृष्टि होती है, आपके अंदर तो स्वयं भगवान है, आपको और क्या बुला सकता हूँ? That is the maturity of dialogues that are there. See, if you see these dialogues in a stark contrast with Adi Purush, then you see the maturity of these dialogues. And look at the dialogues that were there in Adi Purush. So Adi Purush was a disaster in dialogues, and this movie is way better than Adi Purush. But this movie also has a few bad dialogues, like, okay, उस लड़की को पकड़ के लाओ, आज ही नहीं होगा तो कल कैसे हो, आज को मार देंगे तो कल कैसे होगा. See, I told you, Shashwat did a very bad job as a villain. He is a comedian. He's good in that role. Why did you put him in that place? He was just put in the wrong place. He was given bad dialogues. So, I don't know. Did you want him to fail for some reason? I don't know why you did that. You are jeopardizing 600 crore Indian rupees budget. How can you jeopardize it with this kind of mistakes? So, some dialogues were really bad, but a few others really stand out. Like this one. Another example. दीपिका सेज, जिसने अपने पहली सांस तक नहीं ली, वो इतनी आखिरी सांसों का कारण कैसे हो सकता है? Very nicely written dialogue, intelligently written dialogue. Then another example is from Kamal Hassan. जगन्नाथ के रथ का चक्र ऐसा घूम के आएगा, अपने अपने हर फेरे में वो बस प्रलय को ही लाएगा। थर थराती धरती के कोख से जन्मेगा, एक युग का अंत होगा, युग नया एक आएगा. That is the kind of dialogues we want. Very good dialogue writing, and I'm showing you the dialogues of all the various actors. Right, I showed you Amitabh, Deepika, Kamal Hassan. Now, once again, let's come to Amitabh. You must have seen this dialogue in the trailer. मैं खड़ा काल के अंत पे. Now imagine Amitabh saying this in his deep voice. है घना अंधेरा ये अनंत है, पाप है नाश है, केशव क्यों न आए तू यहाँ, धरती की कोख से जन्म लेकर आ जाओ, सृष्टि का चक्र घुमा धर्म बनकर आ जाओ. Now imagine if Amitabh is calling Keshava this way, why won't Keshav come on the earth? This is the gravity of the dialogues over here. This is the gravity of narration. This is the intensity with which the call is given to the DT, and the DT comes down to earth, takes an avatar called Kalki avatar. Sorry, very nicely done. This is exactly what we expect from Indian cinema. So dialogue writing is amazing. Now let us come to the background music. This also I'll show you with examples. See, I'll show you the first 7 seconds of background music. Just listen to it and then I'll give my analysis.
Hi.
Okay, we have taken 10 seconds. So, what did you hear? First thing that you hear is it starts with a drop of water falling on the shivling. You will notice from that drop of water itself that you could hear that drop of water. That means everything around you is hollow, empty, there's no one around. Okay, you could hear an echo as well. That means probably there's nothing. It's like a cave, and the cave is absolutely empty, no one is there. And then immediately you find Amitabh's voice saying, "Oh, that means somebody's meditating. Oh my God, who's that?" That is Ashwathama, played by Amitabh Bachchan. And then you see subtle music starting. This is a rhythmic music. The intensity of this music will grow on over the time, but you realize that something is playing, something is playing. So this is basically what? This is to set your tempo. This is to tell you that there's something out of the world. You're going to see something really great now, increasing your expectations. And then you see Amitabh Bachchan in this position, and amazing, man. This is the way you tell a story. See, whenever you tell a story, it has to be with some background, with some context. You build that inquisitiveness, and then you tell what exactly you want to say. So some people should be willing to listen to you, and this inquisitiveness is increased by this subtle music, or rhythmic music, simple music, but very nicely done. That is the magic of this background music. Now let us go ahead. Now this music's intensity will keep on growing over the time. Notice that. And the music is of drums, Indian drums. Okay, this is not a foreign music of any kind. This is completely indigenous music. We belong to such a rich civilization, such a rich culture. We should preserve our culture. We should feel proud about our culture. And look at this music. The entire background music is only done using Indian instruments.
ఐఎమ్ రాయా. నీ పేరేంటి? నీతో ఏ భాషలో మాట్లాడాలి? జనరేషన్ గ్యాప్ అనుకుంటా.
So you notice that the rhythm of the drums is synchronized with the drop falling. Okay, and now it's growing, it started very subtly, now it's growing, and towards the end of it you will find this.
द्वापर युग से दशावतार की प्रतीक्षा कर रहा हूं।
See, as soon as the this was lit, diya was lit. After that, there is an alap given away. That alap is there, and that alap is not so loud that you are not able to hear anything. The alap is purposely given in the high pitch. It is not like it is like it's like that high pitch. Why is the high pitch used over here? Because Amitabh has to deliver a dialogue in low pitch. See, whenever you separate the sounds in across the spectrum, then it is audible properly. See, if you keep everything in the high pitch, then you will miss out something. If you keep everything in the low pitch, then also you will miss out few things. That's why your audio has to be distributed. If your music is in the high pitch, the vocals should be in the low pitch. So that kind of an engineering is done. I really like the research going through in direction as well as in background music. So then he says very subtly, see, look at his dialogue delivery. His dialogue delivery was not on the top of his voice. He said it very normally, that Ashwathama. Okay, now it is very, very low pitched, and the music is something is going on. It's in the high pitch. You don't miss out anything. Let us see that again.
द्वापर युग से दशावतार की प्रतीक्षा कर रहा हूं। द्रोणाचार्य का पुत्र अश्वत्थामा।
Got it? You see that also, and you see this Ashwathama, Dronacharya, Putra, this that, amazing. And this is what I like about this background music. It is great, and then the background music gets loud as well, especially during the action scenes and towards the end of it. You will see that. See, I think here only it will go. Okay, you get that? See that that is still there. Alap started when you lit the diya, and after that, that alap kept on growing. That is still there. That rhythmic sound is still there, and then you have this alap going louder and louder when the titles kept coming. And finally when Kalki started, okay, that alap was on the top of its voice, but the vocals were already gone. Now Amitabh has turned his back, has gone away. There are no vocals now. So vocals and alap or any kind of a background music were not intertwined, so that you don't hear the other. That is not done. And even if it happens, then they are kept on two different spectrums so that they are audible. That is the beauty of it. I'll give another example. Yeah, this one. Now, till now you saw very loud music. Now you will see a little subtle music, very emotional kind of a music, because there are so many people who are dying. It's the same. I mean, it derives inspiration from that dialogue actually, which what's her name, Deepika Padukone gives, that एक जिंदगी के लिए इतनी सारी जिंदगियां खत्म क्यों हो रही है. So that is it is about that. So it's very emotional, and look at this as well. They've given emotional music as well very nicely. Got it? So when that second starts, at that time you show Vijayanti movies. So you always have to give the action along with the music, then that binds well. It's done very well. See, you see something whenever that comes. Okay, whenever the music comes, you see something. Da! Along with the title. Notice these small little things, okay? This music, very subtle music that you will see, no, that it is like some wooden things getting pulled. That kind of a music. That music is building up your curiosity. Oh my God, what is that? What is that about the future? What are you showing? That is what is done, and everything is done using wood. Everything is done using Indian instruments. None of the items, of course, Even if it is Indian music, still you will be using a synthesizer and everything. That is how it happens. But still, they have tried to give an Indian touch to it, which is amazing. It's an Indian movie. It should appear to be Indian in every way. And yeah, unnecessary controversies are avoided. Now this time, saffron dress, green dress was not shown. Black was shown. Bas, topic close. See, a different music has started with a conch also. Shankhanaad bhi hai isme, देखिए. Okay, now do you hear that? There is another alap. Now here it is, this alap is in a masti. Okay, there's something befikri, masti. That, now whenever Prabhas comes, Prabhas is befikar, right? He is befikar. So that befikri is shown in this music. That is, and see, Ajan was not used. I loved it. See, every now and then, why do people like to use Ajan? Hollywood people also do it. Bollywood people also sometimes do it. It's unnecessary. Why don't you use Indian music, man? You use your own alap. We have such a rich music in our country. Why don't we use our own alap? There are so many different, various types of alaps. So here probably it's not any particular alap, but they have given a nice vocal over here. I liked it. And then at the same time, here the music that is there, it is again the drums, but now it has a rhythm to it. It has a touch of the future, and it has gravity as well, but a touch of the future. Okay, so it is not the same as Ashwathama's music. Prabhas's music is different. Okay, and listen to it again. See the idea? That this music is different. Amitabh's music was different. Prabhas's music is different, and this is what you should really care about. And throughout all this music, you see so many cuts everywhere. They are not showing one scene completely. Why are those cuts given? Because you have to synchronize the action with the background music. So whenever the drums are having a beat like ta-na-na-na-na, at that time you have to show something at that ta-na-na-na-na. You have to show that something, and that is why you have to cut and put that part which is either exploding, or somebody is falling down, or somebody is getting beaten up, something like that. That is very well done with the background music. So overall, I've taken a lot of time on background music, but you get the idea. Background music is phenomenal. Now let us talk about world building. There are 4 worlds that they had to build. One is the world of Kashi, very well built, as you can see. Now some people are comparing it with Dune movie. No, it is not Dune at all, because in our Kalki Puran also it is given that whenever Pap will increase so much, the sin will increase so much, adharma will increase so much, that even rivers like Ganga, Godavari, Yamuna, they will ascend to the heaven. That means they will dry off on the land. At that time, Kalki avatar will happen. That means at that time, Vishnu ji will take his 10th avatar, and that is Kalki. Okay, so this is that time. So if the rivers have ascended to the heaven, that means the rivers have dried down. Then what will happen to the soil? The soil will disintegrate and form this kind of dust, right? So dust has to be shown. This is not even this thing, you're not showing sand, to be honest, but mostly you're showing dust over here, because it is all fertile land. These are the Ganges, these are the Ganga Maka Tat maybe, and so definitely it has a lot of mitti. It is not the wraith, it is mitti. It is dust, soil. It is not desert, it is not sand. And you will also notice that Prabhas, whenever he is shown in these scenes, there is sweat. You have to show that sweat. You cannot be like, okay, AC mein recording ho raha hai. That is not shown. He is shown sweaty. Yeah, in the vehicle, of course, there might be AC, but outside he's always shown sweaty. That kind of attention of detail is given. Very good. I loved it. Everybody is sweaty whenever it comes to Kashi. In Sambhal, it is not so sweaty. Okay, so I'll come to that Sambhal also. Now let us see the other world, that is Shambhal. Shambhal or Sambhal, So this is another hidden city. It is in the Himalayas. Okay, so now in the Himalayas it will be cold, right? So now people are not all that sweaty. Okay, but then they are not in AC again. So it's not very sweaty, but it is still this is how the people will be. No, I think a few of these scenes are from Kashi, but this is from Shambhala. See, whenever they are doing some arduous work, like they're fighting somebody, at that time sweat is shown. Great job with the sweat and realism shown everywhere. Then the third world is Kurukshetra. What is Kurukshetra? Kurukshetra is the biggest battlefield in the world so far. That is the Kurukshetra battlefield. The story written about the war in Kurukshetra is called as Mahabharata. It was written in the form of poetry. So it is the biggest poem ever written, and that's why it's called as an epic. Okay, and one small part of that epic is called as Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna ji was explaining to Arjun why he has to fight this war of dharma against his own brothers and sisters. Okay, he has to fight it. So for that, whatever he explains, that is called as Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is a small part of Mahabharata epic. Everything is written in the form of poem. Okay, so this is the third world that they built. So that is why I said it's not the world of Mahabharata, it's the world of Kurukshetra. Mahabharata is a description of Kurukshetra battle. Okay, so here you see how grandiose this world has been created. Everything is very well done. It has a special tinge to it, which shows that this is history. Okay, this is not the present time. You will see some kind of a orangish tinge to everything. So it indicates that this is not the present. This is something different. Okay, this is what many people do. Like in Matrix movie, if you see, there was a green tinge whenever you are in Matrix, but in the real world, the green tinge is gone. Okay, this is the beauty of cinema experience. So as soon as you realize, oh, this is history, so subconsciously it tells you that this is history, because you see that tinge, you associate it with that history. Okay, then the fourth world is complex. Complex is also okay. Very well done. Complex, whenever you see anything related to complex, there's a yellow tinge because there's a lot of gold cladding given. The reason is that complex is being controlled by Yashkin, whose body is under the control of Kali. Kali is the demon, right? Kali is that demon which can reside in gold. Okay, and that's why you see this meditation room full of gold, golden room, everything is golden. The globes that are there are also golden. Mostly gold is used, and then black color just to signify evil. So black and gold, that is all that they have used in making this world. Even in this robot, it is basically a shade of black and gold. They have used this black and gold so nicely over here. Their costumes, black and gold, everywhere, black and gold. This gives you an idea that Kali resides in gold, so this is under the control of Kali. And everywhere else, you do not see gold anywhere. You don't see gold in Shambhal, you don't see gold in Kashi, you don't see, yeah, of course, in Mahabharata, you will be seeing gold. But otherwise, normal people are shown to be not just poor, but destitute. That much is the poverty at that time. So, no sign of gold in Kashi is shown. But then, wherever complex starts or this thing, then yeah, there is a lot of gold. Okay, so this is the power of world building, and that is why S.S. Rajamouli, who made RRR kind of a movie which has so much of world building, who did Bahubali kind of a movie which has so much of world building, he also praised Nag Ashwin, the director of this movie, and he said that the world building is classy, very good. He used the word amazing world building. Okay, so this is the reason why the world building is great. Now, writing and direction. Coming to the direction of Nagashwin, amazing. This is that guy. This is a fantastic person. His motivation is that if people can make Avatar kind of movies, or Avengers kind of movie abroad, and the entire story is fictitious, then why can't we make superhero movies in India? Because we actually have a material for that. We actually have our Hindu scriptures which tell you in so much detail about how those wars were fought and what are the various avatars of God. Why don't we make that kind of movies in India? That is his motivation. That's what he said in one of the interviews. Good motivation. Then what did he do? He did a lot of research. Okay, he has shown a lot of things from Mahabharata the way they really happened, and he has also used things from Kalki Puran. So Kalki Puran speaks about the 10th avatar of Vishnuji, which will incarnate itself, means take birth sometime in the future. So it is future. So he has taken references from Kalki Puran, but he had a little creative liberty there. He could not change anything in Mahabharata, of course, because that would be very, very disrespectful towards Hindus. But he can take a little creative liberty in the future, because future no one has seen. Kalki Puran gives you the glimpse of it. Now Kalki Puran can be analyzed or maybe interpreted in different ways. He has his own way of interpreting it. So he has used a lot of innovation in interpreting Kalki Puran. So what he did is, instead of calling the Mata, that is the mother of Kalki ji, as Sumati, he said her name would be some 80. And then some 80, I mean, it's similar to Sumati. Then Shambhal village, Kalki Puran would normally say that it's a hidden village and all, but we showed it to be hidden due to what reason? Why is it hidden? So it is in some different dimension. And then how do you go into that dimension? You go through a portal. Where is that portal? Why don't people accidentally cross that portal? Because that portal is in a valley. Who would jump in a valley? No one will jump in a valley, right? So it is between the mountains. There's a valley, and in that valley there is this portal, and you have to literally jump into the valley to get through the portal. So no one is doing that, and that's why it is hidden so far. Besides, how is it protected? It has a power field around it. Okay, so if any negative energy, or it is also shown in the War of the Worlds. The alien ship has a has a field around it. It is shown in Captain Vyom. It is shown in many sci-fi movies that there is a field surrounding it. Even Star Wars shows it. What are the movie? There are many movies showing a field, force field surrounding it. Even in Independence Day movie, it was shown. Force field was there. Similar force field was shown in surrounding this particular village, and it is protecting the village, and that's why it is safe. Okay. Then what is the source of water in that village? So there is a huge tree, and it is hollow, and inside that tree there is a puddle, you can say, and it is filled with water. So it is usable water, and that is how. So whenever you say there's a village, okay, where is the water coming? It is in the Himalayas. So in the Himalayas you won't find, and anyways the rivers have dried up. So in the Himalayas the only source of water is rain. Now you want to show that rain has not happened there, for it has not rained for so many years, for maybe a couple of decades, and still how do you have water? So the water is that stored water in the hollow trunk of that tree. So that attention of detail was given very, very nicely. Then again, Amitabh Bachchan was meditating in Kashi, but he's literally living under the rock. There is a phrase, right? Living under the rock. This guy was really living in a cave, and in that sense, living under the rock. But that cave has a shivling, and Ma Ganga ji used to drip one one drop at a time on that shivling, even towards the end of even towards the prime of this Kali. And then when this Kalki avatar was about to happen, that then Gangaji ascends to the heaven, and then that last drop also falls, and then Amitabh realizes that now the Kalki birth is close by. Okay, so that water used to drip on the shivling, and that Shivji has Ma Ganga in his jata, right? We show it like that in some pictures. So now Ma Ganga, after drying up, let me come to where Amitabh gets water. So when the water drips on that shivling, Amitabh has a bowl to collect that water from the shivling, right? And then he must be drinking that water, and that is how he must be surviving. It is not very explicitly shown that okay, he's drinking that water, he's saying that I will be drinking this water, but they have shown the source of water for Amitabh. How can you live in a cave where you don't have water, and especially there is no water around. So how will you do that? So this is how you do it. Okay, very well shown. World building or innovation used, very well done. Direction is good. Suspense built up. See, when you leave and come out of this movie theater, then you are left with a lot of questions like, what is Project K? You saw the entire movie, but you don't have any clue what is Project K. Then how can Karn be reincarnated? Karn is a human being, right? Means Karn was a human being. He used to be in Dwapar Yuga. So how can humans have avatar? A human cannot have avatar, right? So that is again a question that you come out with. And another is Yashkin's skull is shown to be broken. So why is it broken? That could be a question. Then there are so many hints that Nagashwin has left in this part. I think these hints will be used in the upcoming part. I'll give an example. Like Ritik Roshan's father made a movie for him, the first movie, Kaho Na Pyar Hai. So in Kaho Na Pyar Hai, there was one instance, one thing that was shown somewhere in the movie, and then that thing was used uh, in the latter half of the movie. So it was the first movie that I saw in India, which was made with that intellect. That you can show something and then use that same thing later on in the movie. At least I saw it for the first time in Indian movies, and then later on, Indian cinema grew, and now in many other movies also we see the same thing, that they show something in the beginning, or maybe in between, and then they use it towards the end. Very good job. I think Nag Ashwin is going one step ahead. He has shown a few things to us in the first part, and he's going to show about them in the next part. Okay, like for example, that astronaut statue. I'm having a feeling, a gut feeling, that astronaut statue is something important. He had an entire, uh, fight sequence around that statue. Even that statue's hand gets cut, and that hand falls like this, and that's such a nice scene. So if everything is, even that became part of one of the posters as well. So if it is that significant, then what about that astronaut? Then there are a few signs over there like welcome to the future, and then there are uh, ruins of some space vehicle kind of a thing. So what is it all about? Did humans try to leave planet Earth, and were they unsuccessful? What happened? So that story probably will be told in the latter parts. Another thing that I feel is the six golden globes that are revolving behind this Yashkin. What are they all about? Why is he always cladded? Why is he in that meditation room which is cladded in gold? What is it about gold? So probably they'll tell about this in the next part. And Kalki Universe's logo has that eclipse, if you see. So what about that eclipse? So the story about eclipse is that even in this part they have shown that in 6,000 years, once it happens that all the various celestial bodies align themselves and there's an eclipse, God has to take birth during that time. If the birth does not happen during that time, then the birth will have to wait for the next 6,000 years. So Kali or Yashkin will try his level best to stop the god's birth before that eclipse. So he'll either kill the unborn child or he'll kill the mother. He'll do something about it. And all the good people will try to ensure that that childbirth goes as universe planned. So that will be, I think, that will be the second part. It is all about the childbirth and the eclipse, and that's why Kalki's cinematic universe already has eclipse in its logo. So that is the kind of hints that this guy is leaving. So suspense build up, hints giving. Third thing is world and character build up is complete in this part, and this world and character build up will be probably used in the upcoming parts. So that is why you must have felt that this is a little slowish kind of a part, probably because they wanted to do the world building, character building, so that they can use it in the latter parts. I really wonder why that comedy and romance patch was put, but probably I hope it is at least for something good. Otherwise, they should have avoided it. It did not help at all. World building also, I did not think it did world building as much as it should have done. So it didn't work out at all. Those two patches were absolutely unnecessary. Then again, coming to the direction, all the characters were shown very realistically. So I'll go with one character each. I'll go with Ashwathama. Ashwathama was shown 8 feet long. Why? Because as a yug continues, the morality as well as physical and mental capability of humans degrades. So if Ashwathama is from one yug earlier, that is Dwapar Yug, then he had to be shown taller and also morally more upright than the Kali Yugi Manav. So that is why Ashwathama is shown morally more upright as compared to Bhairav, because Bhairav is from Kali Yuga. Another thing is that Ashwathama actually fought from the side of Kauravas. He did not. He fought from the side of Adharma, and still, even a person who fought from the side of Adharma in today's Kali Yuga, you think that this guy is more morally upright as compared to Kali Yugi Manav. Then it is very well shown, very nicely done. That is why some people are asking that why are the negative characters in Mahabharata shown in positive light? No, it's not like that. They are coming from that age into this age. In this age, this is the age where some people cut their girlfriends and keep them into fridge. This is how humans have morally deteriorated. As compared to that, even Kauravas of that time would look morally upright as compared to Kali Yugi Manav, and that is what is being shown in this movie. um, Second thing is, why is he covered in clothes? So you must be aware after seeing this movie that Krishna ji cursed Ashwathama that your wounds will not heal until you get your Shiv Mani back. Of course, the Shiv Mani was plucked, and it was said that this Shiv Mani will find you in Kali Yuga, and by the time this Shiv Mani finds you, until that time, your wounds won't heal, and you will keep on bleeding and rotting, and you will have to live in that rotten body for so long. So with that history, now imagine somebody whose bleeding doesn't stop. So what will he do? He will put some cloth around it, right, to stop the bleeding. Then suppose his face was shown all decomposed, almost decomposed, or maybe rotten kind of. So if something is rotting, there is pus. So what will someone do? He will try to hide it at least, right? Hide it from the dust, hide it from infection, further infection. That's why he's shown covered in clothes. And as soon as he gets that Shiv Mani, after that, his number of clothes keep reducing after that. His face is not all covered in clothes after that. It keeps reducing after that. So only for the first few minutes, by the time that he doesn't get that money, that only during that time he is shown covered in all clothes, and even his face is covered and all. So the reason is this. So this is again what this is, attention to detail. So I'm discussing about Nag Ashwin. He has shown Ashwathama in a very correct way. Attention to detail was good. Now this another character, this Deepika Padukone was shown, Sumati. This character was also shown very well, and besides, the birth of Kalki was shown very well. For example, it is prophesied that Kalki is going to take birth and he'll be the Kal of Kali demon. Okay, so this birth is matched with the Krishna birth. How is it done? I'll tell you. What is the Krishna story? Krishna story is that Kans, who is the demon, just like Kali in this age, already knew that Vasudev and Devki ji will be conceiving eighth child, and that eighth child will be his nemesis. उनका काल बनेगा वो आखिरी आठवां बच्चा, not आखिरी but आठवां बच्चा. So that was a prophecy. Here also Kali knows that Vishnuyash and Sumati will conceive a baby, and that baby will be his Kal, that is his nemesis. Okay, so that is shown. Prophecy was matched. Then caging of the parents till to kill the baby. See, Kansa did not say that okay, I'll keep the parents apart so that they don't conceive. He did not do that. He was, I don't know why he did that. Maybe out of cruelty, or he did not want to take any chances. So he really wanted to kill the baby and all. So probably that's why. But he kept them into the same jail. He allowed them to conceive, but every time, whenever they conceived a baby, he brutally killed those babies. And I think in this film also, or in this film series also, same must be the story, because Deepika Padukone is shown in captivity. About Vishnuyash, I have a theory. I'll tell it to you towards the end of the video. Okay. Then magic was shown during the childbirth. So yes, childbirth of Krishna and Kalki both must be associated with some magic, right? So we have seen Krishna's story so far. Similar kind of a magic was also shown during Kalki's birth. So what is the magic shown in this particular part? So in this part it was shown that the jails in Krishna's case, it was shown, we know that the jails doors opened automatically, right? Here also, out of nowhere, her serum was getting extracted, only one drop has come out, and immediately that machine fails, and she is put into that the hellfire, you can say. She is put down into that, and then she survives. She still stops herself. She doesn't fall into that burning pit. So magic happens. Why did that machine fail? Another thing is, why did the machine not detect her pregnancy for 5 months? Right, for 5 months, means for 150 days, the pregnancy could not be detected by the machines. Why? How could this happen? So there was magic. Then Yamuna river gave way in case of Krishna ji, and while Vasudev ji was carrying him in a tokra. Okay. And of course, there was heavy rain during that time. Yamuna ji was rising just to touch the feet of Krishna ji. Krishna ji put his leg down so that Yamuna ji is satisfied, and she reduces the water so that Vasudev ji can survive. Okay, same kind of a thing is shown over here, not with water but with fire. So fire gives way when she is moving. There is fire just to protect that particular thing, but then there is a gush of air that actually comes out of nowhere, and the fires are not able to reach her, and there is a hole created in those fires, in that fire, and she walks through that. And then the guards also try to follow her, but then the fire goes away, and then the flames go away, and the guards burn away, but by that time she must have crossed that way. So that is amazing. This is what magic. So you must be thinking that, oh, the South Indian directors, they are usually factually correct. So what is going on? Why is it factually incorrect at these places? How is it happening all of a sudden? This is not happening all of a sudden. This is just to show the magical occurrences, because a god's birth is going to happen. He is trying to relate it with the Krishna's birth. Similarly, he is trying to show Kalki's birth. Then dyeing of the rivers was shown very well. Ganga river was shown to be drying up, and there's a dialogue in this movie which says कि क्या गंगा हमारे पाप ढोते ढोते सूख गई है. Then the last drop of Ganga ji falls on that shivling in front of Amitabh, and then Amitabh also realizes that if Ganga has dried up, that means the birth of Kalki is close by. Shambhal was shown very well. I told you that Shambhal is shown to be in Himalayas. Now, some people say that it must be in Himachal Pradesh. Some people say that Shambhal district in UP is Shambhala Gaon. But actually, Shambhala is, I believe, that it must be somewhere in Himalayas. I also believe so because the Tibetan Buddhists say that there is a city called Shangri-La. And Shangri-La's description is very much similar to Shambhala's description. And they say that, the god will take birth. God will take birth in that city. We also say that God will take birth in that city. We just call that god as Kalki, which is the 10th avatar of Vishnu. And you must remember that Buddhism, Sikhism, Jainism, these three are offshoots of Hinduism or Hindu Dharma. So definitely they have the same legacy as we have. They know the same things that we know, and that is why probably along with time some things might have changed. They started calling it Shangri-La instead of Shambhala. It's very interesting. I'll tell you. See, the 7th avatar of Vishnuji was Ramji. 8th avatar was Krishna ji. 9th avatar was Buddha ji. So Buddha himself is an avatar of Vishnu ji. So I don't see a difference between Buddhism and Hinduism, because Buddhism is an offshoot of Hinduism only. Okay, and that is why the stories will match, and that is why I believe that Shangri-La is the same as Shambhala. And that is why in this Shambhala, you will see that in this movie a lot of Tibetan culture finds presence over there. You see that round circular things which you can rotate, that kind of things. Those things are shown. So Tibetan culture is shown. Also, Shambhala shows some Sikh people also. Okay, they even show people coming from everywhere in the world. Like they show some African people, they show some white skin people. So different skin colors are shown, different people are shown. Amazing. So Shambhala's idea was great. Now let me come to that section where I'll be spilling some beans. I'll be telling you the suspense secrets. So there are three slides, and all these slides are spoiler slides. All these slides will ruin your or spoil your experience if you haven't seen the movie. So if you haven't seen the movie, stop watching the video here itself and come back to this section when you have already watched the movie. Okay, so first thing first, uh, suspense number one is Prabhas Karn or is he Shivji's avatar, that is Bhairav? So Shivji is the original owner of Vijay Dhanush. Now, just because Prabhas is able to handle Vijay Dhanush, or it gives, or he can use it to the fullest extent, it doesn't mean that actually Prabhas is Karn. Because Prabhas could be an avatar of Shivji also. Because Shivji was the original owner, or original owner or handler, whatever you say, of this tool which is Vijay Dhanush, right? So Vijay Dhanush, his original owner is Shivji, and so Bhairav could also be an incarnation, that is avatar of Shivji. Karn was a mortal human. So all those who are saying that now this is Karn and this is Karn avatar, first of all, humans don't have avatar. Then humans don't come back to life unless there is something significant. So like there are only 8 humans so far who have fought death and who have defeated death. They are called as Chiranjeevis. Okay, so a few Chiranjeevis I will mention. Ashwathama is one Chiranjeevi, but his immortality is actually a curse and not a boon. But for everybody else, it is a, for all these other seven Chiranjeevis, it is a boon. So a few Chiranjeevis you must have heard. One is Hanumanji, another is Parshuramji. These are all Chiranjeevis. Okay, so they are alive even till now. They will all, I mean, they'll always be alive. They will always be alive. That is what immortals are, and that is what Chiranjeevis are. So Karn is not an immortal. Karn died like a human. So there is no question of Karn coming back to life. Okay, so forget about this thing and see, Nag Ashwin can have creative liberty in the future. He can show creative liberty in the interpretation of Kalki Puran, but he won't dare touch Mahabharat, right? Whatever has been written in Mahabharat, he won't dare change it. And basically, I don't think he will like to change it because he seems to be a proud Hindu, he seems to be a proud Indian. Why would you change your own epic? I don't think he'll do that. He'll rather show that epic in the world cinema. He'll show that, oh my god, this is the epic we have, and this is the story, this is what happened in India. I think he's that kind of a person. So I don't think he will distort our history. He will distort Mahabharata. I don't think so. Okay. Then his name is Bhairav. You tell me one thing, if he were to be shown as the avatar of Karn, then his name should be something like Karan. Instead of Karn, you will call Karan, something like that. But no, he is being called as Bhairav. Bhairav is what? Bhairav is one avatar of Shivji. Actually, Shivji's avatars are normally called as form of Shivji or Ansh of Shivji instead of calling them avatars. So Bhairav is one form of Shivji, and Kala Bhairav is a special form of Bhairav. Okay, see, God can manifest themselves in different forms. We like to imagine God in a human form, but normally God can manifest in different forms. And when a form is in a humanoid form, then we normally call it the avatar of that God. So normally people would say that Bhairav is form or avatar of Shivji, and Kal Bhairav is another form or avatar of Shivji. Okay, so his name is Bhairav. Doesn't it give you any hint? Another thing is his car transforms like a dog. People are calling it gorilla. No, look at it moving. When it is moving on all the four legs, not legs actually, the frontal legs, and at the end on the back side there is one sphere, but still it looks like a dog. That's more important. It is not like anything else. So dog is what Bhairav form or Bhairav avatar of Shivji has Vahan, that is vehicle, as dog, and here Bujji transforms to look like a dog. I am just trying to connect things. Another thing is Bhairavji was very good with illusions. What else is the reason of showing Bhairav skilled in 3D illusions? So Bhairav is an expert in it, and Bhairav is not even using the resources, or maybe he could be using, because Bhujji was a discarded car from the colony, so maybe he got this technology from colony, but he does not have any support from the colony, and still he is able to do that. That means he's really good with the illusions. And Bhairavji was also good with illusions, so there is so much of similarity. Another thing is Bhairav Ji was fearless, of course. Then he is also shown to be protector of Kashi. Now, who else do you know as the protector of Kashi? Shivji is very well known as the protector of Kashi. Who do the people in Kashi normally, worship? They worship Shivji. So Shivji has to be, this guy has to be, Bhairav has to be the Bhairav avatar of Shivji, right? But Bhairav might have some superpower to absorb the energy. Then how does it explain that he became like Karn, and he even reminded Amitabh Bachchan of Karn? So I think, and he's not always in the same mood, and he even forgot after saving Sumati. Bhairav forgets that what was I doing? Why was I saving her? So probably he came out of that trance-like state. So why did he enter into that trance-like state? So probably he must be having some kind of a superpower of absorbing other superpowers, or connecting with people who lived in the past, something like that. Now this is not an out of the world concept. This concept was already shown in so many Hollywood movies like X-Men. In X-Men, Jean has this quality that she takes the superpower of every other X-Man that she comes in contact with, right? So that's why I think a similar kind of a thing could be the superpower of Bhairav, but it only time will tell, only the next parts of the movie will tell. So that was my suspense revelation about Bhairav. Now the next suspense is about Supreme Yashkin. So I believe Supreme Yashkin is nobody other than the father of Kalki, that is Vishnuyash. Why am I saying so? Because understand, the meditation room of Yashkin had one picture. Okay, means the entrance had one picture, and in that picture, human evolution was shown. And the last stage of evolution was Yashkin, Supreme Yashkin stage. That means he evolved. He is a human being. He's just an evolved human being, right? That's why I feel that Supreme Yashkin is a human being. Second thing is that Sumati is impregnated with the seed given by Kamal Hassan. So who must be Kamal Hassan then? Kamal Hassan has to be the father of Kalki, right? Because father of Kalki is Vishnuyash. So if Sumati is being impregnated by the seed given by Kamal Hassan, then Kamal Hassan has to be Vishnuyash, or he has the seed of Vishnuyash. How? I don't know. But what is the other convincing thing? I feel that this body must be of Vishnuyash only. And then lastly, I'll say that even the name is Supreme Yashkin. Supreme means Vishnu is often called Supreme. If you see, Vaishya people who respect Vishnu ji, they think that there is Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh do not exist. Only Vishnu exists. So Vishnu is supreme. So probably here supreme means Vishnu, and Yashkin. Yashkin is a Russian name coming from Slav race, you can say. It is Slavish name. It also has origin in Jewish culture. So it's a Jewish come Russian, or I mean Slav race name. Why will you have a villain's name which is Jewish come Russian in an Indian movie? Why else will you have, unless you want some tips, some secrets, like Sumati is some 80, just like that. Probably Yashkin is like Yash. Supreme is like Vishnu, so Vishnu Yash. That is giving me the hint that probably Vishnu Yash is the same as Supreme Yashkin. And then look at the whole plot. Where is Kali? Do you realize that the skull of that Yashkin is broken and there is a light coming from inside it? That means that there is something inside it. Now, what is that something? That something is something golden. What is golden? Kali resides in gold. In Kali Yuga, Kali resides amongst some other places, like places where prostitution or slaughtering or gambling happens. Other than that, there's one more place where Kali resides, and that is gold. Okay, so that is why everything is cladded in gold in this meditation room. So that means Kali resides here. And where is the most golden part? It is inside this Yashkin. That means Kali, the main source of Kali, is inside this guy. So this guy is under the possession of Kali. Kali has possessed this guy. But this guy in general might not be a bad person. He is just under the mental captivity of Kali. Now, coming to captivity, think about Krishna Janma. In Krishna, during Krishna Janma, what happened? What is the story? That Kans had imprisoned the parents of Krishna, right? Similarly, here probably Kali must have imprisoned this guy by getting into his body and controlling him mentally, okay? And he must also have imprisoned so many girls because he doesn't know who is Sumati. He doesn't know who is Sumati. Okay, so he's trying to impersonate everybody and seeing to it that all the fertile women are only in this complex, and he'll keep an eye on them. And of course, in the process, probably this is a thing of the future, that whatever serum is generated in a pregnant woman, probably that is giving him some life to this body, at least, because this body is degenerative, right? Kali is just a ghost, you can say. Okay, it's just a spirit, so it can take any body, but this Yashkin's body has to be survived. Vishnu Yash's body has to be survived, right? And for that it needs some nutrition, so probably that nutrition is seeked from that serum, and that is his whole thing going on in that complex. Okay, so that is what I feel about what is Vishnu Yash. I think he is Supreme Yashkin. Now, is Vishnu Yash possessed by Kali? Of course, I told you about the gold. I told you that Kali influences humans by 6 emotions, denoted by the 6 floating spheres. Now, see here, there are 6 floating spheres. The sixth one is over here. There are six floating spheres. Why would you have 6 floating spheres? Because there are 6 emotions that actually lead us towards Kali. Vishnu Yash's body is definitely possessed by Kali, hence the golden light inside him. Also, he has a few dialogues like Kali would have said them. See, you will notice a change in the dialogue delivery sometimes. Sometimes it feels like something inside it is demonous and that demon is talking. Look at the way he says, "Ki itne mauke mile hain इंसानों को." He says it in a demonic voice. Then see, whenever Kali takes over. At that time, a lot of things happen. Like, for example, you see Kamal Hassan widening his eyes like this, as if something has taken him over, right? Then you will see that the voice deepens up too much, like just so that it becomes demonic. Okay, so that means probably Kali is speaking through him. You have seen this in many other movies. Remember the movie Independence Day. In Independence Day also, the alien tries to communicate with humans through the scientist, and then the scientist's voice is not the same regular voice, it is very deep and demonic. Similar voice you'll see over here also. इतने मौके मिले इंसानों को फिर भी एक भी मौका नहीं लिया, that kind of thing. And the third thing is, there's a dialogue where he says मैंने ऐसी कई मौतों को जन्म दिया है. Now here you must be thinking that he killed a lot of people, that is what he meant. No, understand that one of Kali's children is death. So Kali gave birth to death, quite literally. This could be the pun intended, by the way, in this dialogue, that मैंने कई सारे मौतों को जन्म दिया है. And you will probably realize everything like this, or probably he'll show these dialogues again in the next parts as well, when you come to know that Kali is possessing this person. And that is when probably this Nag Ashwin will show that, when he did like this, then Kali took over. When he spoke in demonic voice, then it once Kali was saying. And when he said that kai sare mauton ko maine janam diya hai, that means Kali actually has a child called death. So this could be the whole meaning of it. Okay, and then he refers to humans like tum insan. He himself is shown to be an evolved state of humans. And he himself is saying that tum insan, अरे ऐसे कैसे? यानी do I say that तुम mammals? अरे मैं भी तो mammal हूँ. I will never say that तुम mammals. I will say that you mammals. I won't say that, right? I'll say that we mammals. You're also a mammal. I'm probably a little more evolved, because maybe you're a dolphin, you're a monkey, or you're an ape, and I'm a human being. So I'm evolved mammal. But I won't say ki you mammal. No, we are all mammals. So I'll say we mammals, right? But this guy says tum insan. So that means it is not Vishnuyash who is saying this. It is Kali who is saying this. Tum insan. Got the idea? So this is my suspense opener, slide number 3. So that's it. Do let me know how you liked my analysis, and do let me know how you like this story or this movie. Okay, do like, share, comment and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Jai Shri Ram. ये है अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव, अमित शिरासाव.